Welcome to a special edition of Esoteric Truth Radio. I'm your host, Trinity, and due to a lot of the chaos, debate, anger, and frustration that's currently happening in the United States, instead of me being distressed or combative or confused or unempathetic, I decided to share how I feel about this current situation in the only way that I know how. So I am going to make a very short video expressing what I think people are missing. This is, of course, my own opinion, and you can agree or not. It's clearly up to you. But you're going to have to face at some point that it's not us, and it's not you. It's them. There is a them in this situation, and we cannot continue to avoid it.
David, yes. You want to be the only nigga on television, the only nigga in the newspaper, the only nigga can talk. Don't cover them, don't talk to them, because you got the only nigga problem. Because you know if a black man stood up next to you, they would see you for the whore that you really are. We're the best chicken fries in the universe. And we're going to go buy some Colonel Sanders chicken. Then the Chinaman come in and throw some hot and dip it down, and you stand line by that. Koreans sell us watermelon. We eat watermelon all our lives. But they gonna come cut it up, put it in a bucket with a rubber band around it. And we gonna buy it like it's something we didn't know what it was.
White interloper, I said I was wrong. Cracker, though I think cracker is a certain personification of a certain type of person down south, just like redneck. I mean, you know, some people misinterpret cracker meaning all whites is not true, but the confusion means you shouldn't use it. I mean, sometimes being flippant, you say things you shouldn't say because it gets in the way of your message and people don't really understand what you're saying.
White folks was in the cave when we had built empires. We learned to admire them, but they knew to admire us. We built pyramids before Donald Trump ever knew what architecture was. We taught philosophy and astrology and mathematics before Socrates and them Greek homos ever got around.
And so what I'm testifying to you, I was in the Watts riot. I seen the beginning fire, and I seen that last fire. What I seen is civil disturbance. people are not happy. People are thinking they don't have their freedoms and don't have these things, and they didn't have them. We've progressed quite a bit from that day until now, and we sure don't want to go back. We sure don't want these colored people to have to go back to that point. We sure don't want these Mexican people to go back to that point. And we can make a difference right now by taking care of some of these bureaucracies and do it in a peaceful way. Let me talk to you about the Mexicans. But these are just things I know about the Negro. I want to tell you one more thing I know about the Negro. When I go through Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and I would see these little government houses, and in front of that government house, the door was usually open, and the older people and the kids, and there's always at least a half a dozen people sitting on the porch. They didn't have nothing to do. They didn't have nothing for their kids to do. They didn't have nothing for their young girls to do. And because they were basically on government subsidy, and so now what do? They abort their young children. They put their young men in jail because they never learned how to pick cotton. And I've often wondered, are they better off as slaves picking cotton, having family life and doing things, or are they better off under government subsidy?
They just transferred it, that's all.
Yeah, they didn't get no more freedom. They got less freedom. They had less family alive, and their happiness, you can see in their faces, they weren't happy sitting on that concrete sidewalk. Down there, they were probably growing their turnips. So that's all government. That's not freedom. Now let me talk about the Spanish people. You know, I understand that they come over here against our Constitution and cross our borders. But they're here, and they're people. And I've worked side by side a lot of them. Don't tell me they don't work, and don't tell me they don't pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And don't tell me they don't have better family structures than most of us white people. When you see those Mexican families, they're together, they're picnic together, they're spending their time together, and I'll tell you, in my way of thinking, they're awful nice people. And we need to have those people join us and be with us, not come to our party.